You wouldn't think that a friendly walk to the park with your friends would end up with you becoming a sacrifice to Slender Man, but that's exactly what happened to young Paisley Adams.
Welcome to the West Files.
Young Mary and Anita were friends, who also shared her love for creepypasta. One of their favorite characters was Slender Man, aka the Thin Man. He is described as someone between 6 to 15 feet tall, possessing the ability of selective invisibility, which is when he could be completely invisible to humans or adults, but be perfectly visible to young children and even animals in some instances. He is also said to possess the ability to cause overbearing negative stress and causes individuals to become influenced, causing them to inflict harm on themselves until the point that they become completely insane. It is at this point that Slender Man will then take him back to wherever he comes from, or whatever dimension. Mary would decide that she wanted to be a proxy for Slender Man, and some of you may be asking yourself, what exactly is a proxy? Well, according to Slender Man lore, a proxy is when you kill someone to prove yourself and allow Slender Man to rule over you, and you become his servant. The backstory of young Mary and Anita, as well as Patricia, would be fairly normal, or at least it would appear to be so. 12-year-old Mary would show signs of strange behavior that a lot of her teachers and classmates just passed off as weird or odd. She spoke in a very low, monotone, almost creepy voice. She would not be popular and was a social outcast who did not have friends. Patricia, who was an extremely outgoing and friendly young child, befriended Mary because she knew she did not have any other friends. Mary and Patty would instantly become best friends, although Patricia's mother was not particularly fond of Mary due to her odd behavior. However, she allowed the girls' friendship to continue because she knew that it made her happy. Patricia would also befriend Anita, although she was not particularly fond of her for reasons you will soon find out. The three would spend many afternoons together as normal friends would, and it wasn't until that fateful day when young Mary told Anita about her plans to become a proxy. She wanted Anita to become one as well. When she asked her how, that's when Mary told her that they would have to kill Patricia. Anita, who was not fond of Patricia, immediately went along with the plan. The two started to map out their attack on the unknowing and innocent Patricia. After weeks of planning and going over multiple scenarios, the two girls decided that the best place to kill young Patricia would be a bathroom at a nearby park. So, one day, while the girls were all gearing up for a slumber party at Mary's house, young Mary would decide within herself that day that this was going to be the day they had been planning for. That would be when Mary and Anita decided they would kill young Patricia, and this would be their best chance. They have a great night at their skating party, and they go back to Mary's to finish off their slumber party. They all have a great time and eventually all fall asleep. The following day, Mary would wake up and jump on one of her favorite quiz websites to kill some time. No pun intended. Patricia would wake up shortly after and join her, and they would continue to do quizzes. Anita woke up a short time after and joined the two girls. The three said they were happy and continued their morning filled with fun and breakfast. Little did they know what young Mary had planned. Mary suggested that the girls take a walk to the nearby park, to which they agreed. During the walk, Mary would secretly show Anita a knife that she had hidden in her waistband. Anita's heart raced because she realized at that moment what Mary's true intentions were. Mary looked at her with murderous eyes and silently mouthed the words, "Today is the day." The girls would lure young Patricia into a bathroom in the center of the park and try to get her into one of the stalls. They claimed that there was graffiti and some damage in there and that she should come check it out. Patricia would go against her gut instinct, which was telling her not to go in there. She entered anyway. Young Anita slammed the door shut and locked it behind her. Mary would then grab Patricia by her arms and put them behind her back and tell Anita to do it. "You have to do it. I can't do it," she said. The girls were not on the same page, so they let Patricia go. Patricia, who was clearly shaken up, was to sit in the corner as the girls talked in the next stall over. They would eventually come out of the stall and tell Patricia to just go outside and play. The two girls would shortly follow after young Patricia. It should be noted that Patricia was playing outside for a short while and the two girls were probably in the bathroom psyching themselves up. It should also be noted that young Mary during this time has had bouts of mental depression as well as mental issues. Teachers reported that she had cuts on her fingers and was playing with the blood at one instance. On another, she was said to be scaring kids and barking at them like dogs, as well as other strange behaviors which were just passed off as just normal, weird, or oddball behaviors. After coming outside of the bathroom, they would rejoin Patricia and suggest that they all take a walk together. So the girls would walk into the woods that connected to the park. Mary would suggest that they play hide and seek. So the girls split up. Anita and Patricia were hiding, and Mary was going to be the seeker. Anita would tell Patricia to lay down flat and cover herself up with sticks to hide herself, but her real reason for this was so that Patricia wouldn't see the knife attack that Mary had been planning this whole time. It wouldn't go as planned. Patricia was trying to kneel down and hide. Anita would sit on top of her, causing pain, which made Patricia yell. Mary, hearing the yelling, would come over, and Anita would tell her that she was not cooperating. She was making too much noise. Mary would tell Anita to just tackle her to the ground, which Anita did. And while she was holding her there, Mary would stab her 15 times all over her body. The girls would leave Patricia there for dead, telling her that they were going to look for help. They would then travel 5 hours by foot northbound before later being picked up at the local department store. What they wouldn't know is that young Patricia hadn't died. She was found by a man walking his dog. She, miraculously, was able to somehow walk and drag herself out of the woods to the road. Her injuries were so severe, in fact, that if some of these stab wounds would have been just the width of a human hair deeper, they would have severed major arteries. Patricia obviously had guardian angels on her side that day because she not only survived, she would go on to make a complete and miraculous recovery. So here's Patricia. She just got viciously attacked by two people she thought were her best friends, and not only that, they set her up to become a sacrifice to Slender Man. Luckily, that never happened because, like I said before, she was able to drag herself to safety and was found by a good Samaritan. However, the interviews of the two girls after the fact are very disturbing. Mary can be seen during the interrogation dancing and looking at the camera, almost as if she doesn't even realize what she has done. When she was questioned, her motives were very simple. She said that she did it because she didn't want Slender Man to come after her or her family. I find young Anita more disturbing as during her interviews, she was only worried about Patricia screaming and seeing a dead person. She was worried about this because she didn't like seeing dead people. Anita also seemed to think that because in her mind she was forced to go along with Mary and didn't commit the stabbing herself, that she would be able to get off with a lesser charge, which technically would be true. The interviews are truly horrific, and if you want to check them out for yourself, please go and do so, as they're over 2.5 hours long and very interesting. Like I have stated, I changed the names for the purpose of this video, but you can easily find them by searching Slender Man 12-year-old stabbing. For the sake of this video, I will not post that full interrogation. The two girls, who were still juveniles at the time, would be sentenced to a mental institution rather than going to prison or jail for their crimes, for the reason of insanity. Anita would be released early, after only 4 years, and Mary would be left in the mental asylum, hoping for the same treatment as Anita received. Patricia, the victim in all this, would grow up to be a normal young woman, and has since done a few TV interviews and seems to be doing very well. So what can we take away from this horrible case of two best friends turned killers? Number one is a case of young Mary, who clearly suffered from some type of mental disease. If she would have received the proper help from doctors and specialists, she would have never tried to kill her friend and would be living a normal, healthy life to this day. And Anita wouldn't have lost years of her life, as well as having to live with the fact that she almost killed another person. And for young Patricia, she learned that she shouldn't go into the woods walking with a couple of clearly mentally unstable girls who were showing red flags by acting weird and tried to hurt her in the bathroom prior to the attack. So everyone, please make sure that you know your friends well, and don't put yourself in any dangerous situations that seem strange or out of place. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the attempted Slender Man killings. If you enjoyed this week's episode, please consider liking and subscribing, as that truly helps the channel grow and it keeps the YouTube gods happy. As always, I am your host, Wiz. Until next time, see you later and have a great day.